It's solely there's really no doubt for me. It's a maintenance of the law.
Really?
You'll be able to put your guys back. Wow. Yes. The theory, the session, this one. Okay, thank you. You get a chance to go with them for that. We will. Okay, good evening. Welcome to the August 17th, 2026 version of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the City of Plattsburgh. We got a full evening this evening. So we're going to try and go through them. Some of them are pretty straightforward, some are a little less so, but we do want to be thorough. We will hear them in the order that they are on the agenda. And so right from the start, Jessica. Hello.
Evening, everyone. So, good evening. I know most of the board members, I was commenting on the meetings in class with staff at Owen. So, to my right is Jessica Funkwitz. She's the applicant this evening. There are some of the comments at the pre-meeting discussion. So on the floor for you, it's a special use permit for Jessica over the as well as studio property. 48 South Pathfinder Street. And the second part of her application is an application for a Class B area variance, primarily because what you is proposing is to require certain parking spaces to be both at the property. Those are proposed to be in the front yard area of the property on South Catherine Street. I'll let Jessica speak a little bit about what she plans on doing at the building. We can go through the particular elements of the special use in order to the Class B variance. Go ahead, Jessica, just talk about what we're going to do this.
I don't know, I just had a little spark, so my business and spark workshops and retreat. I just think people need more wellness in their lives. So I had the idea to make this possible in our community. So this property seems ideal to me. I walked in and it just speaks studio. And so I do things since January. I just started in January, things like meditation, journaling, and yoga in the space. And I just so you know, for background, I'm a full-time teacher. This is a side gig for me. And I'm doing Saturday morning, very small, intimate retreats. I heard you discuss in the pre-meeting something about upstairs space. That would be my office space, a separate area. But downstairs would be where the studio would be. And I would hope to rent the upstairs 1 bedroom part.
I guess historically, the 1 bedroom apartment upstairs changed at some point when Mrs. Fulmer owned the property. So we're looking to convert that back to a 1 bedroom apartment, which really has its own parking spaces on Underwood Avenue. There's the garage right there. And there's a thing room for these 2 parking spaces on Underwood. So the new parking area would be really good for the wellness center.
Yes.
And it sounds like, speaking to Mr. Berto, that you would need like 5 spaces there. The structure itself, with respect to the special use permit, it's not going to look any different other than the little parking space, the extra parking spaces in front. I mean, other than maybe freshening up the building itself, there's nothing new being constructed. It's gonna look exactly the same, other than closing off from the one bedroom apartment, which can't be fully seen by outside, right? So as far as signage, we talked a little bit about that, and she may apply for some signage for the business. We'll make sure that we comply with all the requirements and regulations about the city. Surely speak to Mr. Burdo, Mr. Command about that. Again, with respect to the actual rate variance, I know it's noted in the pre-meeting session, but there are several commercial businesses adjacent right across the road from this property. It's Plastic Memorial immediately next door, which has parking in front. There's Plastic Rehab, kind of kitty corner, with parking in front. And then there's Valley Building, which has a little bit of parking in front with parking on the side. So this use is really going to be very innocuous. I mean, other than looking at parking spaces, it won't look any different than really it does now. And again, I think the proposal is mostly on the weekend, you said, Jeff.
Yeah.
So again, during the week, it looks good exactly the same. Other than, maybe visibly seeing parking spaces, but they don't be used for.
Okay, anybody have any questions? No, we discussed it somewhat down below. And I believe you were before the board last week or last month.
She was supposed to come, but I think it was contacted by Mr. Burdo and said,
Okay.
so we got neither now applied for the Class B area.
Okay.
So nothing was really heard or
All right.
or discussed last.
So I didn't miss the same thing. Okay, good.
Yes. But the character of the neighborhood is not going to change. It's going to be exact.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
I have this, so how far down will the parking come all the way down to the sidewalk? No,
It's
Um, Where it's one come all the way to the side of that.
This was attached, it shows us that gonna be the 5 spaces would be like right here. On the sidewalks here, so it's not gonna come off of this side.
Would be that, many spaces down there to do that.
There it is.
It's gonna be about 20 feet off the sidewalk.
Yeah, and we'll be keeping that green space grass.
Any other questions, comments? Which one do you want us to do first, Kyle?
Do the Class B first.
Okay. So let's do the parking in the front yard first. We do have actually for both of these, I'd like to open up to the public. Anybody in the audience that wants to comment, questions? If not, I'll close the public hearing portion. And for the Class B, we have a short environmental assessment form. I will take the motion in regards to that.
The motion for appeal 2427, that board chair review the short environmental assessment form and the check boxes 1 through 11 that no or small impact may occur and sign.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Okay. I'll accept a motion for the appeal.
I'll make a motion to approve appeal 2427 plus year variance request to construct a parking area in the front yard of the property. Zone code 36026 off-street parking and loads of regulations. The inclusion of parking areas.
Second,
Just add as shown. Yeah.
okay, as the plan in the. Yeah,
215, because there's
okay, so the revision to what we spoke to before, the parking stops 15 feet before the property line, according to the plan. Okay, okay, we got 5 yes votes, so we get to move on to the next one. 2422. I believe we have a long form. And the only comment I had on the long form, and Kyle, maybe you can answer. On the long form, within 1,500 feet, facilities serving children, elderly, people with disabilities. They listed Plattsburgh Rehab, but isn't there stuff on Flynn Ave? That would be,
The password on Flynn Ave, I don't think that's been. Excuse me 1 second. I think it's much further than. We're not talking. No, I'm wrong. It's, yeah, the old Clinton County nursing home is within 1,500.
okay, what is it now?
Was sold recently, you know where this is? Give me a second, I can see if I can find it for you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we'll amend it once you come up with something, but let's go ahead and take a motion.
For the seeker.
Yeah,
I just have
Yeah.
one question left.
sure.
So. So this is the applications for a special use permit, right, for a.
Yes,
For a use that is listed under the need for special use permit under Reg 2.
yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
I make a motion for appeal number. 2422, the board chair review the full environmental assessment form and sign that no or small impact may occur.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
I
Aye. All right. Now,
Yes.
motion in regards to the appeal.
I'll make an motion for appeal 2422 for a class B, a special use permit requesting to utilize the first floor of the residential building as a studio office commercial space in R2 zone district with the 1-bedroom apartment and office upstairs.
All right, you got 5 yes votes. I think it basically speaks to everyone thinks that it's a good use there. No,
Thank you, everybody.
thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, next up, Carol Robertson. Oh, this has left the building. Oh. This was in our package. Yes, okay. Do I need to put it into the record if it was? Even when they're in the package that everyone can see. Okay, all right. Okay,
Hearing loss,
okay,
1 year's quite included, and it was wound as a short payment. So,
okay, so evidently there was some confusion in your
let's say,
and so we're kind of cleaning things up here. How, all right. Where's the second fence? Okay, for the audience, apparently we
The image
approved,
on the right hand side is from the upstairs tree.
there's a black pole on the extreme right,
You got a picture.
and that's the beginning of the chain link. Although it will eventually be covered.
okay. So we approved up to a 10-foot fence and you built 2 fences. Am I correct? Is that,
Well, yes,
okay,
I was approved for a 10 and the fence is an 8. It
okay,
was only the vinyl fence that was approved,
okay,
because I didn't apply for the chain link.
okay. But you built them both,
Correct.
okay,
I'll explain why.
okay,
How that all unfolded for you. When Todd and I first met, I made it very clear that, I've always had a chain link fence. And I always wanted to change it. When I first had a house built. My parents had always taught me fences make good neighbors, we all heard that and probably followed that guideline. And so I did that. I had a hedge with it. And then, that was some 40 years ago. But during that time, I have to precede that by saying that my, daughter and I, well, her dad died when she was 30, so we moved back together, my hometown. And what was happening was that, and this was about 4 years later when I could then work at a house built. And so what happened was that I was very aware that people found shortcuts to the property. From Colgan to Sandra and so forth. And which ordinarily probably wouldn't be an issue, but it really just kept going and going. And it was very upsetting. I mean, we're alone, and it was very upsetting for a young 6 or 7 year old daughter. And it was upsetting for me as well. Because I couldn't just normally, as some of the gentlemen could do, and ask them to leave or ask them to stop, or I couldn't do any of that. I wasn't going to call the police for something like this. So what I ended up doing was having a chain link fence put in to get rid of this. And so completely enclosed the property. That has stayed with me. My daughter is now 50, but I'm still there. And so that security to me is a lot, means a lot. So that's why. And then what happened in terms of why it wasn't listed is because Todd had always told me that he sells or stocks chain link fences. And so when I made the application, I thought, well, if I want a 4-foot or 6-foot or 8-foot fence, I don't have it stopped. So I didn't apply for it, and financially, I didn't know either if I would really be able to afford it, so I didn't do that. Thinking down the road, well, if that's something I want to do, then I have to do something about it. And so that's pretty much the overview. So, that was that was in 24. And lucky if I remember what happened 2 weeks ago, let alone enough 2.5 years, but nevertheless, in August of 25, then, we did the, building permit for a retaining wall and also 8-foot vinyl and the 8-foot chain link. I wanted to protect my investment. I wanted to feel secure. And when I do things now, obviously I'm not spring chicken. And so I'm thinking of resetting to, protect my investment and so forth. And so that's my mindset. So that was in August of 25. Then in September of 25, Todd and I met again, not that we didn't see each other during the interim, but we did. But anyway, September of 25 came over and we started talking about, we said, we're about ready to go. And I said, what does that about ready? He said, well, it'll be October. And then he stressed very late October. And I remember those words because it meant I've always wanted to start doing some of the landscaping. And I said, that's no longer fall, that's winter, November. So he made a great suggestion and I jumped at it. He said, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Look at this next spring. And that would be the spring of 26, this past spring. And he said, but what I think we should do, or I suggest, is that we go ahead and you pay about half of the amount. And then what I can do for you is to secure that price so that in case it increases in price, then we can hold with that amount. Well, that sounded good to me. Let's go for it, So we did that. And then, man, I just want to go to it. So I just want to say this, that I had all that time from September or late fall of 25 until spring of 26. That gives me a woman, I should just speak for myself, gave me a lot of time to think about this. And during that interim, I thought I could save some bucks here. Instead of an 8-foot, I could do a 6-foot, 10 fence. That's a chain. So, when Todd came over and we started talking serious dates in terms of installation, I mentioned that. I said, I've been thinking about it and I'm thinking more about a 6-foot fence. I could save some money and be like, can't do it. He said, we've already ordered that. Remember how I said? He said, because, and I said, well, you said that you'd stop chain link, and that's what I was going on. He said, the 8-foot fence is a special order. So that's why I had an 8-foot. But even apart from that, in all fairness, I look at that fence and I'm highly visual. And I was trying to save some money, but I know I wouldn't really have been satisfied. Because when you think about it, an 8-foot vinyl fence and then behind it, you have something less than that. Visually, you're breaking up those lines. And when you're only talking about 2 rulers, it would draw more attention to it instead of having it blend. And the other part that really did it for me was when one of, Todd's, in fact, it was his foreman. What's his name? Terry. Anyway, when Terry was installing what's called a retaining wall. He said, called me out and said, Todd wants me to bring this, start this retaining wall here, this post, that post right there that you're saying, and go in 6 feet. And he said, but what I'd like to do is go all the way to that first post, that the second post in. He said, because to break it up visually, this was interesting. Visually, he said it would look like a mistake. And I was impressed with that, because I'm thinking, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? And he said, he said, well, look like a mistake rather than have the lens as well. So that's pretty much fine.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Comments? We'll open up.
Scott, I need
Yes.
to clarify something from
Yes.
my end. So I can corroborate. After several lengthy discussions with Carol, I understand her point on this, but to make it clear. We missed something also. They got a variance for the vinyl fence 2 years ago, and then more recently they applied for a permit for the fence. They used the same diagram that was approved initially, which had no mention of the chain link fence in the back. What it mentioned was replacement of the chain link fence, which was 4 feet high. So, but in the permit, we missed it. They did. The contractor did write in the number 8 feet in reference to the chain link fence. And I was just looking at it as this is what was approved, same diagram, replacement of the fence. So if I would have seen that initially, we would have talked to them before they installed it. Then they would have been back here doing this up before it was installed. So
Okay.
I just want to say that, but on the permit diagram, there was 8 foot was mentioned.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Questions for me on that?
No.
They're about 2.5 feet apart. There's about 2.5 feet between us.
I'll open up to the public. Anybody in the public got any comments? There was a letter from a neighbor. I live at 50 Sandra Ave next door to Carol Robertson, whose address 52 Sandra Ave. I understand there's an issue with her new installation of a vinyl fence and chain link fence along the back border of her property. My wife, Michelle Bonatti, and I do not have a problem with this. From what I've heard from Carol, the fencing contract with Freedom Fence clearly stated there would be 2 fences along the property line. And this contract was presented to the city for approval, which the city did approve, as Joe just mentioned. Carol asked me to contact you regarding this. Regards, Rafa Bonatti. And this will go to the record along with it. If there's no other comments, I'll close the public comment portion. We do have a long form, I believe. Why we get long forms for fences, I'll never know. I'll entertain a motion in regards to the long form seeker.
I'll make a motion for appeal number 2428. That the board chair review the form and confirm that no or small impact may occur.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'll entertain a motion in regards to the special use permit for the fence, which is purely due to the height of 8 feet. And we previously approved the fence right next to it.
Make a motion to approve appeal 2428. Special use permit request to install additional fencing greater than 6 feet in height for the rear yard. As already installed and presented in the application.
Yeah.
Make that part of the, okay. You got 5 yes votes. You're good to go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for participating.
I'm a margarita. Maybe even the bill, no idea.
I'm ready.
Say that I have had the very, if all city departments could be as wonderful as this group has been. Lisa, Jim, Joe, and Justin, they've all been absolutely to me. And thank you all very much.
Don't be saying that. That'll go to their heads.
Thanks, I'm done. Sorry, I drove.
I said, don't be saying those things. It's gonna go to their heads.
You know, this is the place of the 13th. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Rabbi David Gold. What's that? Oh, okay, okay.
So,
So-
good evening.
So
board
you are
members.
Stephen Leach?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Thank you for taking the time to review Rabbi Gold's building permit application. Unfortunately, the rabbi could not be here this evening. He had an event in New York City. But he's available via phone to answer any questions we have. My name is Steve Leach. I am the current manager.
And he will be purchasing it from you?
Yes, contingent on the approval.
Okay. So I guess, what exactly is this?
So the rabbi had mentioned that of the Jewish faith, there's a building called a mikvah, and he had mentioned that they have to travel down to Albany if they want to stay in state to visit the mikvah, or travel north to Montreal. Burlington, Vermont does have one, but it's quite old. And so the feeling is that Plattsburgh could use another building like this. That's what he wants to.
So, forgive my ignorance. What is a mikvah?
I'm not of the Jewish faith, so. But
I think it's a center for cleansing, personal cleansing and emotional, devotional cleansing.
Okay, all right. Forgive me, I mean, born and raised
I
in
didn't-
Plattsburgh, there wasn't much Jewish faith in Plattsburgh growing up, so. Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay if I add a
Sure.
detail about?
Yes.
You also have to use special water, so it does have some pretty specific water requirements.
Does the city of Plattsburgh provide that?
I can't imagine that they would need to do that. It's probably something that they would have to do through the building.
Usually rain.
Supposed to be. Or
Rain-
spring.
Okay.
Spring water.
Okay,
It's a bath.
okay,
Is,
It's a bath. It's like a pool. Yes, it's like an indoor pool.
Right.
But I'm confused because it's not connected to a temple or synagogue.
No,
It's just freestanding and sponsored by whom?
The thank you, I wasn't gonna say it correctly, so I didn't wanna ruin it. You got it, thank you. There is a local chapter of, I don't know if that's how you say it, but of the Shabbat, right? Shabbat. Yeah.
it's,
By the church.
Like,
There is a temple in town. Matter of fact, I think there's more than one. There's two, yeah.
So I think, that they're not always, I mean, I'm. From what I've learned, they're not always attached to the temple.
But they're not so far away, it just seems odd that you're just gonna have a building with a pool in it. And not. Just used by passersby, I believe in a mikvah, I believe in the use for a mikvah. I just don't understand how it's gonna be a freestanding building, that's an indoor pool. That's not, it's not like. If you use Catholic base, you have the pastor quarters, commons, that's our, this is just. For anybody who wants to use a mikvah nearby.
We should probably.
Are we in public comment?
Excuse me. Hey, excuse me, excuse me.
Wait till.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's get over our part and then I'll open it to the public and you can get comments.
What is the anticipated use, a number of people, how often?
We should probably call Rabbi Gold, is that okay?
Yeah.
Is there a reason that it is pressing to do this month?
I think when we tried to do it last month, the rabbi did, and it was pushed to this month.
Oh, okay.
And then he had mentioned with you that I could come help with that. I'd have to be here anyway, so.
The site plan shows 3 parking spots. I'm just wondering if, I don't know, what the anticipated use will be. I mean,
It's low usage, what he had mentioned, but I'd like to.
Sure, go ahead. We'll try it.
Hey, how's it going, Rabbi Beth? Good, and we're here with the board, and they just had a couple questions about the frequency of use, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you on speakerphone, that way they can all hear you. See that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Frequency of use, so now it's anticipated probably 5 times a month. D10. In the future.
I can
10 times per month.
5 to 10 visitors.
do that.
Yeah. So. Sure, or grow maybe 10 a month. It's once a month per family.
Would people be traveling? I mean, people from Plattsburgh seem to travel to other mikvahs. Would people utilize this mikvah from the region?
Well, what is the service area of the participants?
How far would people travel to visit?
Oh, I don't know, just people living in Plattsburgh. There is one in Burlington, so just for Plattsburgh.
And when this is occurring, how many people are in the building?
2. There's a person that's doing the ritual, then there's an attendant.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
I guess I have just one other. Is there regularly a person on site or only when it's being scheduled?
Yes.
Yeah.
So will there be someone in regular attendance at the building or fairly regular or only when it's being scheduled?
It's only when it's scheduled.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time the building will be empty.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'd like to open up to the public. Anybody have comments, questions? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to go and talk.
Sure.
You want to tell you with Steve or without Steve?
You can just stand there and speak if you want.
Sit down, I'm a little nervous
Oh.
standing up.
Sure, go ahead.
So, thank you all for being here and listening to my comments. I know it's time out of your life and that you guys worked really hard to make sure that Plattsburgh is running complete. So thank you so much. The comments that I am saying tonight are solely about whether this particular proposal is compatible with its location under the standards the board is responsible for. I would have stated the same issues with any building that went into this property, just to let you guys know why I am emotionally connected to the property. That's my property next door. So this is in my backyard. So this is my backyard. The property is located within Plattsburgh Residential Historic Neighborhood. The character of this block has been shaped over generations, not only by its historic homes, but also by its mature landscape. These features are part of what makes this neighborhood very unique. Historic preservation is not only about protecting old buildings, it's also about protecting the historic setting, mature trees, landscape, streetscapes, and neighborhood character that give those buildings and their meaning a sense of place in our neighborhood. If this project requires the removal of mature historic trees, alteration of the approximately 140-year-old lot iron fence, or significant changes to the historic landscape, those losses cannot be replaced ever. They permanently change the character of one of Plattsburgh's oldest residential neighborhoods and a historic building that is registered on the full private street. And just because it was separated doesn't mean it's not part of that original property. This neighborhood also already experiences significant day and evening pedestrian activity, traffic, noise, and parking demand because of its proximity to downtown and the college. In addition, there's already a visitor-oriented and, quote, tell me if I'm wrong, bed and breakfast. Did the Regina Maria get a bed and breakfast or did they get a Airbnb permit? I can't remember.
Something
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's already a visitor-oriented bed and breakfast immediately adjoining the proposed site. My concern is that this application should not be evaluated in isolation, that it should be in the context of the neighborhood as a whole, and the lasting effect it may have on the people who live here and on the historic character of this district. I respectfully ask the board to carefully evaluate whether this proposal is truly compatible with the purpose of the residential historic district that I live in, and to ensure that its decision is supported by the standards that you all know as the zoning ordinances of Plattsburgh. Thank you, and I have a little final thing put together. Thank you so much for giving me all this time. I respectfully ask the board to ensure that the record clearly evaluates how is this building compatible with the residential historic district and its beautiful character? How will this building impact the surrounding neighborhood and activity levels? And will historic landscapes and features be considered when making your decision? In my mind, I imagine my children's children walking down the street in 50 to 100 years from now. And will this decision have preserved the historical character that makes our neighborhood special? Or will it have permanently changed it? I respectfully ask the board to consider that question carefully before making its decision. There were a couple of things that I had heard us talking about. I'll speak to those very quickly. If people go all the way down to New York City to use a special building like this, then they'll probably come to Plattsburgh to use a special building like this. that just makes sense to me. If people are traveling one way, why wouldn't they travel another way, right? So I don't think it'll only be used that much. I think it will be used more in my mind. And then the curb, am I allowed to talk about things that were talked about in the work meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. No, thanks, you guys. So, the curb cutout that was spoken about was actually on the property behind it. It's actually connected to Emmy's property, not this property. So the fence that opens is on Emmy's property, not that property. The curb goes in there. I just wanted to point that out. I think, for sure.
We gotta talk about that in the meeting.
Okay, oh, I thought you guys were talking about the curb that was already
You
cut
mentioned
out.
the curb cut.
I mentioned it was about a different property.
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry, I thought it was about this property, sorry about that, yeah. So currently there is no curb, way to get in, so the fencing would have to be cut and then changed.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys have any questions for me?
I don't.
Okay, it's not.
Yes, ma'am.
The age of River House Street to across the street. I actually thought it was the property of where the house burned down, Chucking Labor, if you don't, but I'm just wondering now, is that adjacent piece on Virginia
Yes.
Grant? She's absolutely correct. The trees there are phenomenal, the ginkgo tree there,
200, it's 200 years
it's
old.
phenomenal. It's just, I mean, my son is over 40 and we used to like collect leaves for, the fall. The tree, you can't find a ginkgo tree here in City Plattsburgh. I think they have 2. There's 4. There's unbelievable. They're the leaves are like fans, they come completely yellow and fall and all in color. And I don't, the aesthetic of that one building is just breathtaking. And I don't know what this building would look like, or what it would add to the neighborhood. It's really tight in there, and the houses are so big that we have to be giving neighbors and understanding neighbors where people will rent out rooms, have a lot of transient property. But now we're gonna have a big empty building with a mikveh in it, it's basically a pool, which will be unmanned, and that's a tough corner to walk on. Because there's a lot of foot traffic and we're, I just think about vandalism and things like that, we always have problems in that neighborhood. While I respect the purpose of what they're asking for, I really question location. It's just, if it's connected to either the temples or synagogues, I would think it should be near it. So it can be watched and it can be manned. You're gonna have an empty building with basically a pool in it. And we have so much foot traffic during college season. That will only be used a few times a year or a few times a month, but remains vacant otherwise. I mean, back in the day, my God, Mike and I lived 34 years now. I remember we used to do neighborhood watch. I mean, people will take advantage of the neighborhood. And it's not like we have to be so pristine in our neighborhood where everything has to be just perfect, because you just want to respect what we have. And that's it, I don't even know what it's gonna look like. Is it gonna be like this big concrete building in the corner where we're gonna have this transient traffic coming through? And what if that building's sold for something else and you lose that parking? There's a lot of green space that's being used up. The trees there are just, I didn't know it was that corner. I thought it was the corner on the opposite side, but they all said we're down.
Well, and the comment about the trees, the only reason this is before us is because it is a permitted use with a special use permit. If somebody wanted to tear them down and build a house there, they could. With no review, so.
But the purpose,
Well,
please consider.
we've heard it from we've heard it from her, excuse me. We've heard it from her, you're just repeating the same thing. Have you got something else to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm saying. The neighborhood can get very lively. And there can, when we can have, and we all try to take care of be respectful of college students, be respectful of people come and go. But that's, that's an unmanned building with a large vessel of water in it, with hundreds and hundreds of kids walking by, young college students and people walking by. And it just, and I don't, people coming and going out of that one corner, it doesn't. While I respect the purpose, I don't see the location as making sense. With that beautiful building next to it also.
Okay,
That's all.
Thank you.
Please consider it carefully, because we don't even have an app view of how it's gonna look in 2 weeks.
no,
Okay. That would be important, because we need to, please.
any other comments? Anybody else?
Just forgot to hand you guys something. Would you mind if I handed you some information that I did not get to give you?
That's fine, come on up. What is it?
It's just some questions for the board to consider. I was not able to get these two ahead of time because I had a very close family member pass away 5 days ago. The day after I found out about that member passing away, maybe two, sorry, you only get one. The day after I found out about that person passing away, I found out about this. And so my week has been a little crazy, so I did not get to the information as quickly as I would love.
Okay, so how much of the, how much of the building, I mean, how in the permitting process is the profile and the decor of the building taken into account?
There won't be much, as of now, there will be some more stairs, and the rezoning, but now there's not much, not historic, well, it's not historic, it's not in the historic district. Virginia Maria House is, the lot isn't, so there's not a lot of scrutiny in that.
Okay.
There will be design standards, like I said, in the future, but.
The historic department doesn't have to go to review the state.
No.
And not to the planning board either.
So, are we currently, what zoning are we currently using to make these decisions?
We have to use the current zoning law.
Oh, okay, and the current zoning laws do say that anything that this is okay. The 3 spaces, everything, that's normal,
Yes.
the zoning that's currently in place.
Yes.
Okay,
The only thing, what the current zoning law requires right now is that they get a special use permit to use the building in this way.
it's in residential.
Yes, because that zone
Yeah.
requires it. Yes. Now. And we have no building information on it.
Just the size. So. I just did calculations, 7.8% coverage and 86% open space. Well. Above.
Is there a contractor yet?
You have no information. The specialist.
Yes, sir. No, I have not closed the public hearing.
Where do they supposed to do parking, on which street? Obviously, both are very busy and that would. Yeah. Pulling in and out is probably something you can about.
They're pulling in and out of Brinkeroff. As shown by that right there.
Okay, is that the 28 cross, is that the, okay.
Yes.
That's enough.
Yeah. And I think everyone will agree Brinkeroff is less busy than North Catherine. Okay. All right. I guess unless anybody else has any specific comment, we'll close the public hearing portion.
One question I might have.
Yeah. I'm gonna find it. I'm afraid to my name, I'm not sure if I'm being on roughly.
Are they,
Line
are they typically, do they all look the same?
with the mid bugs?
Yeah,
No, actually,
So they-
we pretty much have
I was just wondering if the
a
board.
fair, they do actually look very, if I was to place them in a architectural style. I would say they look very plain, angular, constructive like, yeah.
But most.
I don't know what era I'm trying to think of, but, you
No,
know.
I was just wondering if the board could get a visual on what it might look like based on.
Shouldn't the board have a visual of what it may look like? Before you decide?
This isn't the planning.
I mean, a cinder block building or, you know, or something that, you know, looks like the neighborhood. That'd be important. Wouldn't you wanna know what it would look like that, you know, before you vote on it? And. Have you ever seen a mikvah that wasn't within location of?
I've never seen a mikvah, but I do know that when I was asked to put my fence up, I was asked what it would look like.
No, what I'm saying is within location of the synagogue or the temple, it's usually somewhat attached. Rabbi oversees.
No, it isn't really.
Well, I mean, I have seen that. I'm Jewish too, so, you know, like, you know. And yes, when somebody wants to check up. Usually when people marry interfaith and the other person wants to change to Judaism, they go through the mikvah ceremony and they go through that. But the rabbi is there, and there's stuff that goes on, and it's like, it's just different, where it's just this freestanding building, not connected to anything really local. It's, you know, and it's uncomfortable that it's not overseen by somebody locally, not attached.
I actually feel very uncomfortable with having a vacant building next to my house on a regular basis. I already have vandalism on a regular basis on my home because of it being on L Street. So I do also feel the same way about that. A vacant building will also have to have heavy security, which means they'll have lighting. I mean, I would assume they would wanna have security if there's nobody there. So that's another thing that worries me, how much lighting and security would be in my backyard.
I'm sorry, I had no, so the applicant for this is no way attached to the Jewish community in Plattsburgh.
Yes, they are,
See the rabbi in Plattsburgh,
Yes,
but you said
yes.
it's in New York City.
No, he's at a special event, just,
Oh, well,
he's a rabbi right in town here.
Yes.
Like,
the
no,
one by the high school or the one,
he's on call.
I'm sorry, which is the Shabbat, or is it the temple?
It's the Shabbat,
What's it?
Rabbi Gold.
Yeah.
There was a question about your.
Well, it is, I believe there's one on Grace, right, and there's one over by the high school.
Yeah.
But there, why isn't why wouldn't the mikvah be closer to your property, sir? I'm sorry,
There's not room.
Not enough room.
that's quite far away. To leave a
Okay.
vacant building with a.
Okay, we've talked about that.
That's a home.
It's not something you need for a player, not related to that.
Okay, any other different comments? All right, I do have one letter here from Carol Klepper. She's in full support of the zoning board granting special use to build a mikvah on the vacant lot located as long as the building meets current zoning requirements in this RH district, including appropriate setbacks, open and green space, and off-street parking. The only concern that I would have if I live next door is to make sure that the ritual immersion pool is constructed in such a way as to ensure that there wouldn't be no potential water infiltration of the adjacent properties in the event that it is cracked or flooded. I would support locating the pool at the far northeast corner. Northeast, okay, closest to the street corner. Yeah. To prevent any potential damage to surrounding properties. It would be helpful to have a plan or at least a rough sketch of applicant's proposed building and provision for off-street parking included in this application. Though I am still supportive of the board granting such a variance, I wonder if Rabbi David Gold is planning on also using the building as a Shabbat. I only mention this to ensure that he provides adequate off-street parking for more congregants to attend if he plans on holding religious services in the future. It's always better to plan for future growth. As a longtime resident of 17 Couch Street, I'm fully aware of the difficult time that several owners of this vacant lot have found in their efforts to find a buyer who would meet the zoning requirements of our RH district. As a member of the Jewish community, I'm also aware of the rabbi's search to find a property in which he can provide all services to his congregants. I believe that a mikveh and a Shabbat, if also intended, be a great fit for our neighborhood and district. I'm fully in support of the board granting a special use permit to Rabbi David Gold. That'll go into the record. There's no other comments. I'll close the public hearing portion. In reviewing the special use permits requirement, I don't think we have enough information from the applicant to adequately review against general character, height and use of the structures, provision for surrounding open space, and the treatment of grounds. But specifically the general character, which has been brought up. So I guess it's up to us. I would like to postpone with the idea that we do not have enough information to adequately review it against character of the neighborhood. I will accept a motion to that effect.
I'll make the motion that we postpone a decision on appeal 2429 pending further information on on the design
and character
of the in regards to the neighborhood.
On the board's behalf. On the board's behalf.
And the board's behalf. Thank you.
I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Sorry, but I think we need more information from the rabbi, including stuff in the writing, some sort of design, because we are the only gatekeeper allowed by our code. And I think that for a special use permit, this is something that is unfortunately unfamiliar territory for us. And so we can't just say, well, we know what this is going to look like. We don't. Okay.
Respect your decision.
All right, thank you. All right, have him work with the inspector's office. We can hear him next month, or if he wants a little longer time, that's fine. It's on our behalf. So, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll give you this. Okay, thank you.
On that, but and what we should also do is review this.
Did you get a copy?
Okay. All right. Make sure I don't skip anybody. Okay, Ronald Nye, come on down.
Property over the property with my daughter Carly.
Okay. All right. So you had a fire. Sorry to hear it.
Not big enough.
So what are we looking at here?
Failures some structure of the building meeting code. And the fact that it's 5 different builds to that building over 100 years of time. Nothing is the same level, nothing square, nothing is solid. It is as we the inside of the building out, the lab and plaster became very obvious and constructive. It would be an expense remodeled. It makes more sense to tear the building down and put back some new 2-unit building.
Okay. Are you tearing out the foundation?
But it's fine.
Okay. So
That's
you're,
intent right now.
the intent is to tear out everything
That's the intent.
and,
Keep the same footprint, obviously.
okay.
Yeah, that's building.
Now, if we're going through and doing this, Kyle, and they're tearing it right down with a new slab, can it be moved?
I'm pretty sure that when we did the. Check the yards and the open space, I think it was pretty much stuck where it's at.
Okay.
I'm right, looked at that, but their side yard almost exactly front yard, everything is. Where it has to be.
Okay, so there's no way to move in and get more parking. Okay.
No.
They're not helping.
I think in as far as to the parking, we're not putting much back on. So by not putting much back on, we can put the parking at an angle to the building and have many spaces that back into our half of the driveway.
Do we know how far the building is from your property line on the driveway side?
I heard somebody's talking about the dimensions of the porch, the porch is 8 by 14.
Shows 7.4 by.
And then half of the driveway would probably make it maybe 20 feet. The house is roughly 20 feet wide, and there's 15 on the right hand side from the fence, so that's 35, so it makes it 15 feet on the driveway side.
Okay, so not enough for 2 legal parking spots.
15, 16, actually, it's not 15, it's. Okay, so it gives us roughly 17, 18 feet. But if you put the parking in at an angle, I think you could make those 2 parking spaces along the driveway side of the house.
No. No, because you wouldn't have room to get by a car. If you don't have room for 2 parking spots side by side, if you angle one, you aren't gonna be able to get by it with another one, because you're narrowing it down.
I think. Right, if you put the
Isn't the radius?
parking spaces at a sharp enough angle, you should be able to put the 2 parking spaces off from.
But you don't,
That's there.
but you don't have a driveway getting into it.
Well, how did it exist in driveway?
Yeah, but it just doesn't work. If you've got less than 18 feet wide, a spot is 9 feet wide. So if you got less than 18 feet, if you take a 9-foot slot and turn it, it's going to narrow down your drive-by. That's just mechanics. Geometry.
Yeah.
So you can't.
So like
diagonal spots take more room than parallel.
Because of the angle.
Yep. Yep.
Longer.
Yes.
So why can't it, if the porch is not there, why can't one be in front of where the porch is and one be in further beside it?
Because you can't legally get by another car.
Yes, you can, the driveway's still there.
I think you could offset them.
Well, but the driveway's not yours.
The driveway out there is out.
Yes. But you need 18 feet.
It's
For 2
very
vehicles.
close to being 18 feet.
By our measurement on the satellite, which isn't 100%, it looks it's about 16 feet.
So legally, we can't say that's how you get your second spot. So,
But if that port wasn't there, you could angle in, you could actually widen that driveway the whole width.
the 16 feet.
Yeah. So you wouldn't even have to angle in.
Yeah. But 16 feet doesn't get you a parking spot and a way to drive by it.
You wouldn't need a way to drive in. You drive both straight in. If that porch wasn't there, you could widen that curb cut, you can go straight in.
So
16 feet.
Right, so there's still 2 feet short.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, but you would. But it's, you wouldn't have to angle anything. You could
Right.
Straight.
Then maybe just enough room to reconfigure it. There's room whatsoever on the side of it.
I don't think there's.
The problem is parking is a hot button in Center City for obvious reasons. And when we grant variances for it, it has ramifications beyond your place.
it's been there forever.
I agree.
Yep. So I mean, the request is to grant variance for parking.
There are 2 requests. One is relief from parking and area deficiencies. And the other is for a Class A use variance, which is going to be harder to.
But we could grant the variance for parking. Dependent on 16 feet of paved.
We could. Yes.
Surface.
Yes. With kind of the idea knowing that they're going to make it work.
So, what they can shift it over. We didn't calculate the deeding deficiency, so. They can shift over about 4 feet.
The slab? You mean the slab?
The
whole house.
The whole building can be shifted 4 feet. to the west. And the same side, make it to meet the side yard setback.
There's been no that open space coming and then it's just.
I know what you mean. It's gonna, that's what they're, it's going for open space anyway.
And once you do that, then the parking variance can go away.
So I'd have to recalculate, I can do that here. Open space.
And
The efficiency of that.
And those are essentially pre-existing also. Maybe not open space, but the coverage.
So. Okay. Open space was 62, so. I can't read that stuff. Open space is fine, because they're at 62. It's the coverage that's an issue, so. That's not.
And coverage isn't changing.
Coverage. It's actually good, smaller, it's going from 28 to 20. 28, 25. So they could pay that, I have an issue.
Okay. Do you understand what we've been saying?
Fit the building west 4 feet and
Or
without getting us
to, or however much you need.
18.
So if you, so you may only have to shift it 2 feet. Okay, you know, but within the parameters, that makes one whole variance go away. Which is what we are supposed to try and do. Okay, is to minimize the amount of variances that we actually grant. That's essentially our.
By doing that,
chart.
it'll ease the neighbors' ability to use our side to get in if they've got multiple vehicles lined up.
Well, that's between you and them.
Right, well, it's always been that.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so then that drops that down to what for area variances?
Well, since it's brand new, it's still gonna be 25.1. Coverage 25 is required, so it's minimal.
0.1. So that's all that the area variance ends up with is 25.1 versus 25 required.
At the time, I wasn't sure. We first discussed it. Sorry, both. And both of the other calculations. So now they're down to 25 points.
Okay, before we complete that and open up for, let's touch on the Class A variance. And then I'll open up for the public. And then we can address the specifics. So I don't have to do 2 public hearings for the same thing. So the other aspect is the Class A variance to rebuild the duplex as a duplex as opposed to a single family home, which is required. And that one gets a little stickier, gets a lot stickier. So granting of a use variance that our restrictions have caused unnecessary hardship. In order to prove unnecessary hardship, the applicant shall demonstrate that for each and every permitted use under the zoning regulations for the particular district where the property is located, the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return provided that lack of return is substantial and as demonstrated by competent financial evidence. There was evidence financial included in the packet. The alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique and does not apply to a substantial portion of the district or neighborhood. It does, except everyone else has pre-existing. Your fire made yours unique in that you did not rebuild immediately. And so
Comment on that. It took us over a year and a half, year and 3/4 to settle with the insurance company. Because they were not going to allow for the ordinance, the zoning variations. They were not caused by the fire, they were pre-existing, so we had to go get an arbitrator and go through all that mess with the insurance company, and they dragged it out as long as they. So it was well over a year before we even saw any money.
Third item, the requested use variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, which I think we all, it's a lot of two-family and three, and the alleged I will have, excuse me, sir, it is not the public comment portion, please. Okay, and the alleged hardship has not been self-created. Like I said, if he was being investigated for arson, that might be a discussion point, but so, and they also have in here, and preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health of the safety and welfare of the community. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we have to review for the the Class A variance use. Are there any comments or questions about that specific portion?
So,
Yeah, to the board.
So you purchased the property originally as a two family.
It's been two family for eons.
And the income from the property was based on the two family for occupancy. You that's the calculation there.
Future
Earnings from a duplex and a single occupancy.
correct. And then probably low. The single family is probably high. The duplexes are probably more than $1,600 now.
These are long-term tenants, some year,
Yes.
1 year leases.
1 year lease, they leave it, last tenant was there for 3-4 years. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I'll just you anticipate that your rebuild will look essentially like the building that it's replacing.
It'll be a two-story duplex, whether it's side by side or 1 floor, apartment A, apartment B upstairs, whether it be whatever is standard for duplex.
This is a historic district.
It is in RH, yes. Yes. Now, you submitted a plan with over under.
Sorry.
You submitted a plan for an apartment upstairs and an apartment downstairs.
That's how it currently was. The floor plans I gave you were for as it existed today. You move up and down. I'm understanding it was as long as it's 1,000 square foot units.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
So you said you had a fight with the insurance company. The insurance company ended up accepting that you were going, that it was going to be a duplex.
There's no question whether it remained a duplex. Actually, the insurance settlement was only for the apartment A.
Oh, okay.
There was nothing given. I've got to file a new claim for the second floor for all the code variants and anticipating another year or two battle. Because they never reply, that's their game, they don't reply, you get the arbitrator, they still don't reply, and then over at the end of the day, the arbitrators just finds in your favor and then you get your check. It's and in the meantime, you're not getting any grant, but
Any other questions?
Because it was non-conforming, that ceases with the fire.
It ceases if they don't start rebuilding within a certain time frame.
and we weren't really aware.
Correct. They have to start.
They gotta finish, but that's gonna be a much longer period of time than some, because they realize part of this is the insurance companies. So if the new one comes through, that's gonna be set.
That's only if it's less than 50% damage too, so if it's more than 50%, then they have to go through the process and learn how.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. 50% is determined by.
The appraised value, the assessed value at the time of the fire, what it would take to rebuild.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll open up to the public. Yes,
I have several questions.
okay.
First of all, am I understanding that this particular piece of property is a tear down and a rebuild?
Yes,
Okay, so it's gonna be a tear down and a rebuild, and you're gonna move west by 4 feet to accommodate parking, is that correct?
up to 4 feet, possibly, yes.
Okay, how far away from the adjacent property must you be in order to accommodate that plan?
On this lot, 6.5 feet.
You only have to be 6.5 feet, then I think you're just, it's not 15. I think you're just barely making it if you move over 4 feet. You're just gonna make it.
It's from, that 4 feet would be the exact closest they can.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
so I wanted to clarify that.
That's right.
Yeah, and that dimension is because it is a narrow lot.
Right.
So because of that, the setbacks are proportionate.
I measured from the fence and the court and the side
Okay.
of the building, I believe it's 12 feet.
Okay. All right. Next,
How many parking spaces are you requesting?
our requirement requires 2.
How many are being requested?
The requirement 2.
So it won't be, so it'll be two amen, or is that 2 times 2, which is
2
4?
2 total, which is what our code requires for 2 apartments.
So each apartment only gets to park 1 car?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's reassuring. I think it might be a little bit difficult, but that's reassuring. So you only have to be 6 feet from the property line.
Just over 6.5.
and it is a tear down, it is not a restoration. What is the time frame for completion? From start to finish of when this building gets torn down to when the front door is decorated with a pre-wreath?
What does our code require?
Well, it's, you have, once you fund it, you have 2 years to complete it, and it's just started after 6 months, before 6 months. And so 2 years is the timeframe for a building permit, which can be renewed if necessary. But I'm sure he doesn't want to take 2 years to build them.
If I could comment on that.
Yes.
When dealing with the insurance company, they have what's called holdback.
Yeah.
You don't get 100% of the claims. Additionally, you don't get the ordinance until you've spent the money. So until we've spent the money that they've initially given us, the amount of ordinance that they've approved and the amount of the holdback, we don't get a time.
Okay, so
The faster we can get this spent, done, the faster, we're going to be made partially whole, because the amount of insurance money definitely isn't enough to cover the rebuild on the property.
okay, do you understand what you just said?
Yes, I
Yeah.
understand that.
That his money's gonna be tied up. The faster he goes, the less time his money's tied up.
Is 100% correct. There are no multifamily homes on that block. 0. They are all single family homes with the exception of the halfway house that is right across the street that is beautifully maintained. But there are no multifamily homes on that particular block. So that variance, in order to reestablish what was always a duplex, is something that you must consider, because there's a lapse in time from when there was a fire. I believe this is the 3rd summer. There's a lapse in time, so you need to look at that very carefully. I'm also very concerned, and you have alleviated some of my fears. You're telling me in this room right now that there will be 2 parking spots. Is that correct?
I am not telling you that until we approve it.
Here's my problem.
Yes.
They can build something this year. And then, as has happened in other places in the city of Plattsburgh, they can fill that place up with a bunch of college kids, unbeknownst to you all. But if there is no or limited parking, it becomes more difficult to do that. Because if students don't have, they've all got cars. If they don't have cars, then they're not going to want to rent there. In addition, the enrollment at the college continues to go down. They can't even make use of their own dormitories. So as long as we can be assured that there's not going to be multiple parking spots, that makes a big difference. Because that way it cannot turn into college housing. The problem is also because we all live in that area and Mr. Nye does not. And having absentee landlords may be very profitable in some cases, but we like to keep our property up. And sometimes that doesn't happen as readily when the property owner is not living on property. So there's a lot to be considered. It can be a darling house with the right architecture. Can really be an asset to the area. But it has to be done with sensitivity to the current residents of the area.
I'd like to point out as the actual landlord that I and owner that I would live in the property if I could. But due to the fire and the fact that there's nothing inside, I currently cannot reside in one of the units.
Okay.
But you were not living there before, Carly.
Ooh.
When the fire happened? No, we did.
Oh,
No, years before. You have to be careful.
Okay, what you're discussing here is not within our purview. If you have a problem with absentee landlords, talk to your city councilor. You know, that's something for them to deal with. We can't regulate it from this board. Okay.
We did have a regular maintenance person taking care of the property before the fire. He mowed the lawn, shoveled the sidewalks, shoveled the driveway.
Okay.
One thing he did not do was put his refuse and branches and grass clippings onto the neighbor's property like she did for many years. We have a large pond.
Don't start.
And this.
Okay. Yes, sir.
One thing about the parking spots, my mother, that house shares that driveway.
Okay.
And it's one thing, maybe the code says one parking spot per unit.
Yes.
But the reality is when you have a long driveway. And if it's a family or if it's multiple people, most families are 2-car families. And to think that one spot will be for apartment A, unit A, one will be for B, and the other people will be in the street or something, that's just not realistic. And so what you're gonna end up with is, as has happened for years, is the driveway at 87 Ringerhoff becomes the access to the extended part of 89 because of the 2 units. And so it might be the code for one parking spot per, but the reality is that there has always been more than 2 cars in that, I'd say almost always. There's almost always been more than 2 cars in that driveway. The upstairs, this part was, I think it's a smaller part, that person tended to park closer to the street. And then the other folks would park further down the driveway and back out through 87 Ringerhoff.
The wider driveway should alleviate that issue quite a bit. Because it will, the combined driveway now will be essentially 3 parking spots wide and not just 2.
Right.
So the combined driveway?
Well, your mother's driveway plus their driveway will be.
Our driveway would be twice as wide now because the porch is not gonna be there. So essentially there'll be a center lane that you could use to back out around another vehicle.
So
It'll be a
people are gonna be parallel parking against your building.
Or however they have us do it, but it allows for the use of the center of the driveway for both properties to use to get in and out around vehicles.
Yes, ma'am.
But is that only because it's gonna be 2 units? And the code says 1 car per unit? Is that something that we should keep everyone aware of?
No,
The code requires 2 legal parking spots, which is an area paved beyond the front of the building. What is in front is the driveway, and you're allowed to park on a paved driveway at that spot. So they're allowed to park in every inch of that driveway, in the front, all the way to the parking area. So they can have 4 cars, 2 cars stacked in that driveway at some point. Their requirement is that 2 legal parking spaces, and
Right,
that's what they're providing. And the
so how
driveway
would we
is-
get to 4 cars?
I'm saying they're allowed to park on their driveway in the front area. So if it's a paved driveway, they can park there as well. So
Well, we've had knocks at the door. Various times at the holidays when 87 Ranger House. Has several cars legally parking in the driveway. And we've had knocks on the door from tenants. Requesting us to move the car so that they could back around.
Right.
Out.
And that is what this will alleviate.
yeah. So they'll have two spots and 2 lanes that they can park in, so.
Be a 2-lane driveway.
Say like the left side, left parking area and left part of the driveway. Should be one unit, and then the other side would be the other. That way. They don't have to knock on each other's doors and now, it's just.
Okay.
It's just the legal parking spaces all that we require.
So would that change the, what do you call it, the cutout, the curb cutout? Or we,
Possibly, I can.
It may not. That's kind of between the building inspector's office and the owner.
Probably doesn't have to.
It'd be less expensive if they didn't have to.
Yes.
I mean, it should be stated that. Any approval tonight isn't gonna guarantee any irresponsible parking. From some tenants there.
Oh, I know, they're good.
I mean,
Across the lawn.
we're not saying that, they need to provide for this use 2 legal off-street parking spaces, and once they do that, then the driveway. By definition leads to those parking spaces, and you can still park in the driveway. So. I don't know the orientation of the common driveway between you guys, but can you put you can put a fence along it if you needed to complete, people have done that. I just wanna make sure that we're not
Yeah.
saying that there'll never be somebody knocking on your door asking them to move a car, because I don't know if we can guarantee that.
No, but we can try and minimize that.
Yeah, this should make it
That's-
better.
Yeah.
This should make it a lot better.
Yes. Any other comments from the public? Nothing.
Apologize for ruining, already had public comments.
Okay.
And I agree wholeheartedly with Mrs. Clarkman and around the gardens.
Okay.
I wanted just to point clearly, and I'll lose that. Right across from where Mr. Gulio lives, there's a 2-family on the corner of Pleasant. And Brickerhoff, and then. Like 4 lots down, there's a 10-unit. So just to be clear, that there are mostly single-family homes, but there are multi-family and 2-family.
Are you talking of the Lindy House?
The Lenny house, yeah, the Lenny house, and then there's two houses to the west.
To the west?
Yeah.
To the west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 lots there, so it's not completely, by saying the block doesn't have any isn't accurate, but it is mostly single family homes now, that whole area, that part of the block.
And some of those single family homes are college housing, right?
I don't know, no, I don't know any of these single things.
No. 3 houses up, I believe it's all cut between us and Zeus.
Yeah,
Isn't that college housing in there?
that's why I mentioned that, it's not something.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Okay, question.
Yeah.
now we have had really no problems dealing with the driveway. We've had a congenial relationship back and forth. But one thing is that I'm an old lady now. And so I don't have much traffic except where my children are, there's lots of traffic. But normally, my little fit is just so small and fits in. But pretty soon I may die, and that's okay. But somebody else will take my house, you know, will have my house. So I want to make sure while we're talking here, that the arrangements are made sort of legally, so that when we sell a house, everything is okay, and that they know that they'll have appropriate parking and not get blocked in. And that was one of the things that I sort of interested in this.
Well, and I guess that's what we're trying to ensure. We're trying to minimize any problems. We can't guarantee that there aren't going to be any, but we can do some things to minimize it rather than just giving them a blanket. Yeah, you can go back the way you are. We've come up with a way to get more parking. That basically, I would say no expense, since you're doing a full tear down, other than a little more paving. But, you know, you're gonna be tearing it all up anyway, so you're gonna have to repair it. Exactly, so.
The winter here is a hard time. It's a hard time with snow coming in and narrower passageways with a driveway. You know, take across all of that.
A common driveway has its inherent problems, yes. All right, there's nothing else. I will close the public hearing portion. I think we should do the easy one first. Guess it really doesn't matter. The easy one. Well, the one for the area variance got very easy when we opted to change the location of the building. The parking goes away, which is a stumbling block, and the only variance is yeah, so 25.1 when required is 25. It's like, you know. So let me get back organized. So this is thank you. Well, there will still be a need for a variance for the 0.1%. For open.
There was another for area for dwelling unit. Oh yeah, and area for dwelling unit.
In what?
Area for dwelling unit. We talked about that, so.
No, we did not. Okay, let's get this right.
They needed 15,000, remember, they need 15,000 square feet. For 2 units, 7,500 per and 5,950 per unit.
Okay.
So it's that and the 1%.
Did you get those, Ellie? Repeat that.
You need a class B variance for area per dwelling unit, where 15,000 would be required, and they only have 5,950. And there, it's a 0.1%. So it's only like 6 square feet.
Which is coverage?
Yes.
Coverage. So max coverage is 25%. And they got 25.1%.
So I shortened the building by half a foot.
Yeah, if you shortened it, then
You wouldn't need the variance, or we can just do the variance.
Well, we still need the variance for the dwelling. We're significantly off on that. So. All right, then let's first do Class B variance seeker.
I make a motion for bill number 2430 that the chair review questions 1 through 11 and ensure no small impact may occur and sign.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's go 2430, to the class B area.
Yes. Yep. Okay, I will entertain a motion in regards to the Class B variance.
I'm gonna make a motion for appeal number 2430 for a class B area variance, for a deficiency in lot coverage by 0.1% and a deficiency in area per dwelling units. With the, I don't know the deficiency is, I didn't do that math, so with the available area per dwelling unit being 5915. Is that for you?
And the requirement is,
Requirement is 15,000.
okay. Second,
I'll second that.
okay,
Should we add that it's continuing the non-conforming use?
sure.
Continuing non-conforming.
And then put in that. The shifting of the, or is that gonna be with the?
We'll have to, because we didn't give him a variance for parking. So he has to move it to get
Right,
parking.
right, so that's gonna be in the next.
No,
No, it's not.
well, we can mention in the next, but
That'll be
he's not.
That'll be our responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we aren't giving him a variance for anything as a result of that.
Okay.
2430.
Okay, on this one, we got 5 yes votes. So our area is fine. And now we have to do the Class A use variance.
We jump straight to the seeker.
Yes,
I'll make a motion for appeal number 2431. That the board chair review the form and confirm that there is no or small impact may occur.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, again. For the Class A use variance. Cannot realize a reasonable return. Hardship to the property is unique. And does not necessarily apply to a substantial portion of the district. Use variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And the alleged hardship has not been self-created. And if all of those meet if you feel comfortable with that, then a yes vote is acceptable. If you have a problem with them, no.
I make a motion for appeal number 2431 for a class A use variance request to establish a 2-unit building in an RH zone district. Reestablishing previous non-conforming use.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay. You got 5 yes votes. I think basically that you're going back the same way you came in, and we've minimized variances. And I think Carly, if you live there, everyone would be happy. Okay, so thank you. Appreciate you participating in the process. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to reiterate the earlier person in thanking Joe and Jim for
Lisa.
Sorry. It's all their sister, daughter would say, putting on the meeting, so. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, Michelle Thompson, Little Peaks. Hello.
Supposed to be confirmed.
What's that?
No, it's right at the bottom.
Oh,
Okay. Just give us a brief overview of what you're looking to do. I mean, we've read all of this. It's getting later, but
It's right now, after that, we took the B from Union Street. It's a B2 zone right now, and we're looking to request a special use permit for the recreation. It's going to be an indoor children's play studio, so basically like an indoor playground and imaginative play, along with a cafe for adults to enjoy coffee.
And supervised.
Yes, it's not gonna be a child care facility. Parents are required to supervise the children.
okay. I don't remember what kind of hours are you?
8 to 4, most days, and then 8 to 6 probably on Friday.
Okay,
And it can be staggered too, so when families come in, it'll be 2-hour increments, so it's not all at once. So it's staggered throughout the day.
this is the old Alex's? Is that where you're in?
Yeah.
Okay.
it looks like it.
But
Yes.
Yeah, Alex's
Yeah.
True Value, sorry.
so the current space right now is 1,000 square feet. The landlord is putting in demising wall, so it's gonna be half of that size, so our space will be 2,800 square feet. So it won't be as big as that.
Okay. Are they gonna do more markings in the parking lot?
What's that?
Do something for markings in the parking lot, because that's essentially an access to the back part of that shopping center. There's a lot of traffic through there,
Yeah,
and you're gonna be having kids walking. Are they gonna maybe do some lining or?
there are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they just repaved it.
It actually, I don't know if this is a current photo or not, but
It looks like it.
it looks pretty, I know they just repaved the
Yeah.
whole parking area.
Yeah. It's all new pieces.
In the footprint of the space that they're demising, ours will be on the north side. So they're not furthest south, close to that access point.
Okay.
They're not.
Okay.
And the parking is, it goes all the way up, so.
Yeah. Well, there's the new hardware store back there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know you can drive up the backside. But, okay. Any questions, comments? No?
No.
I'll open up to the public. Any comments from the public? No? Oh, I'm in the hot seat here. It's hot. Okay. And I'll close the public hearing portion. Do we have a full environmental assessment? Where'd you learn how to print?
Teacher.
Okay. Oh, it's probably blowing right on you guys. Okay,
This is chilling.
all right.
Make a motion for appeal number 2432 that the board chair review the full environmental assessment form and sign that no or small impact.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. How about a motion in regards to the special use permit?
Two. For the special use permit request to operate an indoor children's play studio and cafe, existing commercial space. As the proposal is shown in the application.
I'll second.
All right, you're good to go. 5 yes votes. Thank you.
Good luck.
Sorry you had to sit through everything else.
Glad something's going in there.
Stay here. Give him to stay there. You would have to stay.
You have to sit for the microphone. Okay.
Now, wait,
Hold on.
you're not up next.
One more.
You want him to go? It doesn't. Okay, go on. All right. He was catching some shut eye back there.
He's just banging back and forth.
Okay. So this is for 115 Court Street. Where's the garage?
Right here.
No, we've seen pictures.
My albatross, that garage.
It's been great seeing that property get restored. It's great.
It's my dream, and we're in our 5th year. So I keep saying, well, when can I have a Thanksgiving dinner? When will I get a kitchen?
Well, let me first, you are,
Sharon Santry.
and you are Paul. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We don't necessarily know who you are. These guys do, but, okay, so you're the owner, you're the contractor. Okay. So you tore it down.
It was structurally deficient, there was some rot on the bottom of the framing and stuff like that, and it was pretty unsafe. So we decided to get rid of it before it was beginning our hazard.
Found that.
It was kind of a hazard to the neighbor and to the neighbor to the left, the neighbor to the back.
Neighbor to the back, you know.
Both sides, plus the bricks in the front were very loose. They were about ready to come off. So we kind of wanted, just made a judgment call to get rid of that thing and make it safe for everyone.
Yeah, we haven't been using it.
Just storage.
Just storage.
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, all the boards were rotted on the silver plate. You know, better. See right here.
Now, and you aren't going back in with a similar or a light. You're putting something upstairs.
Just storage was And it had the garage part that's a historic involved.
Okay.
The whole idea is to put something in character of what we're doing. What was originally there was a carriage house there originally that got torn down and put this thing up. So Sharon wants to put something to match the nice work we've done with the rest of the building, restoring it, keeping in character with the building.
You've seen other carriage houses here in the city, which is our intention. Is to match the roof line of the original house.
You just have a current picture of what
You-
Well, we've got,
Yeah, I did that one for the historic.
And, you know, in the roof, angles match,
You know, when you look at everything.
the doors in the front will be more of a carriage house style. That would have been there originally that you already see throughout town. I'm an artist, I have a master's in art history and decorative arts, and I'm very, very tuned in to what is necessary. Just to keep everything in character, and it's very important to me. That I succeed in this project.
do you know how wide that old garage was?
24 feet.
It was 24, okay.
Yeah, nothing's changing in size. Nothing's, the foundation is still there. Slab is not changed. That did not get removed. The slab is fine. We just want to make it nice and match and safe. That's the whole idea. I mean, that obviously doesn't know when anything goes there, and that was permitted in 1976, that were up. Apparently they did not have any zoning or to approve it back then.
And frankly, on the left side. There are 5 parkings, there's
Yeah,
a paved
parking.
parking lot and 5 parking spaces, and that is college housing. Which has just been purchased by the rabbi of one of your meetings tonight.
Yeah.
So, I had actually put an offer in on the house, on that house, to restore in the same manner as this, but my offer wasn't accepted. So, there's really nothing behind the garage that's going to impact anyone's life. It's college kids parking. And it's vacant, it's been vacant all summer.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
one person there.
One person there all summer. And it's a shame because that yard behind with the parking lot, there's another beautiful lawn behind it.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's behind Sasha's, behind the next
Yeah,
house.
well, actually Jeremiah Ward, the neighbor there, is very happy that we got rid of that, it was a hazard to him.
Yeah,
His house and his property.
And you're planning on living in this house?
yes,
Okay.
yes, we just, my company in Florida got acquired. And I'm retiring August 31st. So our plan, my husband and my plan is, once then he's out February 28th. And we're planning on completely moving back to the North Country. I went to SUNY, my family's been here for, since the 70s. So I came to be a nanny for my sister while I went to SUNY. And you probably know them all. So this is my adopted hometown, we love it up here. So it's very much a big, sentimental project for me.
Well, the other thing too, we're hoping to inspire other people to
Yeah.
stay in the neighborhood. I think it would be nice
And I'm
to see a little more of this in the city.
And I'm hoping it's not my first project, nothing on this scope. But
No.
I would really like to find some other small Victorian or pre-Victorian. That's why I wanted to go, because that is not a stucco house. I know exactly what that house looked like originally.
Any questions?
No, I've thought for a long time somebody needs to do a carriage houses of Plattsburgh. Well, right.
tired, I need to publish something, so maybe that's a project.
I'll open up to the public.
Anything? It's funny that. I own very prosper, I'm like, that is awesome what they've done. And I didn't know who it was, I had the apartment building.
Oh, you do?
116.
Keep that up really nice, Greg. You keep it up very nice.
So if you're looking to buy that way.
Well, I forgot to the.
No, it looks great.
Yeah. Well, you can see what it looked like, it was, as we got whole buildings out.
I will have an open house at some point. Hopefully I'll be invited and.
Pretty fantastic inside. The woodwork has been all.
We've got all the woodwork.
Restored everything, yeah.
I rebuilt some of that woodwork, so I'm glad you're keeping it. For the previous owners.
Oh, no.
We can talk about it after. It's not necessary at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll close the public hearing portion. We have a short environmental assessment form.
That's number 2.
As always, yeah. Change number 2 to yes and building permit. And actually, they were required to get planning board approval. So it'd be both of those.
That adjustment, I make a motion for appeal number 2434, that the chair review the short environmental assessment form and check boxes 1 through 11 that no or small impact may occur inside.
Second,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I will entertain a motion in regards to the. What exactly is the variance? Class B area.
Deficiency in the rear yard setback.
Yeah.
There's 10 where 30 is required.
I'll make a motion to approve. Appeal number 2434 for a Class B area variance request to rebuild the garage on the existing slab, resulting in a rear yard setback deficiency. As presented in application.
Second.
We all agree that it's going on the same slab, no bigger.
Yep.
Yes. Five yes votes. You're good.
Thank you.
Start building that.
Yes. We're ready, you wanna get it in?
Come see me when you need doors.
Yes.
Carriage house.
Where you been?
I own overhead door.
Oh, you, oh,
Yes,
you came to my house in Belcourt, I think.
yes. One of my guys did. Yes.
You-
I thought I recognized the name.
Can you come?
Yes, we can. Yes, I can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Pat.
Oh, wait, we're at the 2 hours 19 minutes.
That's.
Intermission. 20-minute intermission.
No, I want to go home.
No, I could do this later. Good evening.
Never done this before.
This one should be,
a judge there.
this one should be easy.
Just, we're gonna make one change real quick, like, I talked to Pat already about this, and we, already downstairs. The lot, it's actually two different lots, actually, probably three different lots, to be able to. So we're gonna. So, we're gonna do this one, okay? One of the movies. They don't have it jump. Right?
So I wanna do that. Yeah, if you could, you get them to, don't know what's not, if you wanna wait till last month.
I can't because the state, for that, he needs the. He needs something from the city, so they can issue the.
Well, we can do
License
this,
it.
so we can do this, and then we'll work on this. So we do this. So just like we said, again, this is where a lot ends. This is the part of the property that we're gonna.
Okay, so we're only gonna deal with one piece of,
Only because.
one lot.
Only because we didn't have a separate application for the other one,
Oh, okay. All right.
right? We can't do that.
Or, well, you wanna keep them separate? Ultimately,
It is not.
in one way or another, if you want to combine them, you have to. Equally
Change the deed, which I can't do that, I think. Which makes you like real power.
We don't. Us, we don't.
I don't know if that's,
I don't know if that gets his salmon oriented, so.
well, but he's still gonna have. The main portion of it.
Is it, is,
Approve this and then. Approve that if he combines it. Contingent on him.
What's the parcel ID number on the application?
So it's 0.6, it's that corner lot, that corner lot.
Alright. Seems like that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Now, we can't modify the application here.
Well, it's because it'd have to be a separate application for a separate property.
Oh. That's no fun.
And we were sweating to get in under the.
Unless his testimony was that he was going to combine the lots, those are merged, you don't have to. You don't have to go to another board to get approval for that, you just have to. It has to. Apply it.
Which I can do that, whatever I need to do to merge them, or.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how quickly it could be done, but I'm sure.
That's just attorney paperwork and file with the.
yeah, you just give it to the other lot for $1.
Okay, if it was a subdivision, I'd say no, because that has to go to another board and then take it with it. Doesn't matter. I really don't see a problem with that.
If we did it for the parcel. That parcel becomes part of that parcel, it becomes the same parcel ID number.
Yeah, I mean. County road property, is gonna sign a. Parcel ID number, so I don't mean that, but. We all know what we're talking about.
Okay.
So you can't have two parcel IDs on a application?
No,
Well, that's,
not on the same application.
oh, okay,
They could be merged, same name.
yeah. All right.
Is it safe to assume that second lot is necessary for his business?
What's that?
The second lot is necessary for his business.
No, but yes, you wouldn't want, you wouldn't want it without it because. There's not gonna be, I probably had 15 or 20 people wanna rent it, but it's all been something that would be not. Like a forklift repair shop, transmission repair shop, like used forklifts out. Oil. This isn't even what was my goal with it. I mean, I left it empty for 3 years, it was this close to
a brewery until I sent Pat Rasco over to see Jesse to brew there. We had 3D renderings, what we're gonna do with that. He calls me back, he's like, Pat, Jesse wants out, so I think you're crazy not to just take that over.
Yeah.
Then there was like a high-end bike shop with second floor windows. But yeah, so the back two doors of that building go open where it's just gonna be like.
I think you guys could approve it contingent on the version, then it would be. Then it would be actual, be fine.
Okay,
I'm okay with that as well.
okay.
You know, amendments.
My goal was to try to get something that's gonna grab it and make it better. But I think it's still be clean, you know.
It's still not gonna.
Something that's not just like.
So we're talking just lot 5. Not what he shows in the outline, correct?
Yeah, so maybe I'll print that to you again. So the property line runs. Where it is going in. So this is probably that. So this is where see.
This is the part of this, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. So that's. Well, property line coverage. This is the line is considered the other time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, not that.
Right.
Okay, so just lot 5.
Yeah.
Lot 6 is on the application, lot 5.
Yeah.
You guys understand what we're talking about there? Yep, okay. All right. Any other questions? Well, what are they going to be doing there? Just,
Used vehicles,
okay. How much mechanic work?
like 0.
Okay,
That was one of my,
reconditioning type,
yeah.
that's it.
Like there's not gonna be a mechanic on staff.
Okay, okay.
But it's not gonna be a repair job.
okay. So you're gonna be hearing those air guns
No.
constantly and neighbors aren't gonna be,
Wouldn't do that.
okay. All right. Anybody have any questions for them?
And the businesses are leasing the property.
Yes, believe it's a 1-year lease with a 3-year something.
You have other visions for the property then.
I've had a bunch of them. Nothing I want to run, it was like someone else did some, there's a great corner. It's just. I've been trying for 3 years, so this is so far the by far best that's besides the brewery itself, which would have been great for that area of Valcor. Now it's 80K and having those 3 that close within walking distance. But yeah, everything else was multiple repair shops for like.
So you own those 2 lots, you also own the big lot that is next door.
Yeah, I converted,
Yeah.
rebuilt that for and leased that to AES.
And the other 2 lots that abut you, you do not own, correct? That's Broderick.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
On the.
okay. All right. Any other questions? If not, anybody in the public? Nobody online?
Carol write a letter? I don't believe that, she saw that. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, She's not old. If you call her old, I'm gonna feel hurt because I graduated with her.
Yes.
This is all recorded.
All right, we have a full assessment form.
Yeah. Instead of being live streaming. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll make a motion for appeal 2433. That the board chair review the form and confirm that no or small impact may occur.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for the appeal 2433.
I'll make a motion for appeal 2433 to grant a special use permit request to operate an automobile dealership, car repair and car inspection business contingent on merging lot 5 into lot 6 per the application.
Okay. Got 5 yes votes. We're good to go.
Yeah, thanks for what's just so late. I'm sure keeping this so late.
Sorry, it was a long meeting.
That house on Court Street across from that is awesome.
Yes,
It looks so much
it
better.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be like, thanks for making the best. All right.
Good.
Thank you, Pat.
So do I get?
Get that deed adjusted in the morning.
Yeah. Because
Looked at something from us. On this meeting, what was it the best?
and then I can.
If you want it quicker than what we would normally do it, talk to Lisa about the process.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get that done. Let's see. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Did we stop already?
Okay.
So close. I don't care, so now.
We have meeting minutes to approve. Only 3 people can vote on it. Ellie, PJ, and Kim.
John.
All in favor? I'll second that one. Second by PJ. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.